Ben, you got back in town late last night, and we were texting, and I was like, okay, great, man. Hey, everybody make sure to get up and at 8:30 listen to Shan and RJ because Jerry Jones is going to be on there. And then I promptly did not do that. But from what I understand, you had your ear near a radio or streaming service or something, and you actually heard Jerry on with Shan and RJ this morning.
I did, because you yelled at me in your dad voice on the text. You told me to listen.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry.
So, yeah, I know. I checked it out. It was funny because it was just a few minutes before it was going to start, and I was asking Kat, you remember how to stream the fan? It's like been a long time. I don't even know the fucking name of the company they are now.
That sounds like that post videos to Facebook scenario.
Yeah, and I was like, shit, I waited too long. And so I just took a coffee mug out to my car, turned my car on, and listened that way. And it started with, I'm like, first of all, I'm thinking, okay, Jerry owes them an apology. Mm-hmm. They've been doing this for a long time. He was incredibly disrespectful. I thought they handled it perfectly. It's a difficult situation for them to be in, but he kind of misrepresented what their relationship is, and then he took shots at their credibility. Mm-hmm. And so I'm thinking, okay, Jerry's going to start this thing with an apology, and the way the whole interview started was, first of all, Jared Sandler was in for RJ because RJ wasn't there.
Okay.
And so Shan starts off the interview by, I think he reset that and said who was there to kind of help Jerry out. And RJ's not here. First thing Jerry said was, "Hello, RJ."
Jerry's a genius. I love that bit.
He did not mention anyone else.
Yep.
And so Shan was like, "Actually, Jerry, that's the one guy who's not here today." And they just moved on.
Jerry didn't even acknowledge that he said hello to a man on vacation.
Yeah, and right. I don't think he did. And then they started, and Shan said, "Look, Jerry, obviously," and I'm paraphrasing, I could get this wrong, but it was like, "Hey, there's been a lot of discussion over our interview last week. We'll just give you the floor here. Is there anything you want to say about last week's appearance on our show?" And he was like, "Nope, don't have anything to say."
What a dick.
Yeah, it's a total dick move. And it just was, when I heard that, I was like, yeah, man, you got to take the keys away. This is the end. And we're just, he's totally unaware of how Cowboys fans feel, of what his relationship is with the media. It's gotten too muddy. It's all too muddy for him. It's all business partnerships, and thinks he owns everybody, and just huge egotistical move, and horrible play. All right, somebody points out in the comments, Jerry made a joke after they pointed that out to him that RJ was ducking the confrontation. So
okay, that's a good Jerry joke. I like that.
And his tone was a light tone, I guess, after that, but it was he totally missed the opportunity to apologize to those guys and take the high road, and he would have won over a lot of favor. And Jerry's really good at being human. Especially if you get to interact with him in person. He's just a nice guy, and man, this is so poorly played on every level. So yeah, he botched his opportunity to apologize.
I mean, we know he's full of shit, but he's really good at being full of shit. It's worked out really well for him in his life. And then there's just certain times where it's just so transparent. Usually when he gets caught up in being full of shit, he'll tell some like really strange meandering story with a punchline that like an ant is on a battleship or something, or like there's a moth on a dog's balls or something. Like, he'll do all that sort of little town country guy thing. But he doesn't care anymore. I mean, I think like he's got to be jaundiced to it to some degree. I mean, all he's had to do in the last really 15, maybe longer, 20 years is turn on the radio and hear people criticizing him. So the fact that he got worked up about it now, I think more than anything, to me, could be wrong. It just kind of underscores, what we talked about going into this season, where the future for the Cowboys, at least from a playing perspective, is more unknown than it's ever been. so many people on 1-year deals. Now they did fortify that with Dak, and you're sitting there going, okay, they're married to Dak and they're married to CD for the immediate future, but this could be an entirely different coaching staff next year. And maybe as part of that, if they do end up getting, like you've been, talking about this for years, the idea of Belichick coming in, there's a new GM situation. Belichick doesn't just come in to be the coach. That's not, well, I'd be shocked if that happened. So what does that look like? What did, and everyone will point to the Bill Parcells situation. Man, that was done to get a stadium built, a stadium. I don't know if he's trying to get a casino in the sky built or what. I don't know, but that's done. And so his age, they're bringing in some huge swinging dick. There's going to be other changes besides just coaches added. So.
Yeah, and Will McClay's been great, but he's missed on quite a few recently. And you ask people who are closer to the organization than I am, and they're like, well, at time the coaches have huge influence, and so and so I'm like, okay, well, it's all the same. So like, it's a committee, and if a coach wants to go pick a specific player, sometimes he can make a power move and go get that player. So
right,
it's not all Will McClay by himself anyways. And this thing is it's such a cycle. It's the same thing. You get hope. There's parity in the league. The Cowboys are in the mix. You feel like they got a shot. You get your heart broken. And they got to make wild swings and changes. And we got to go. Okay, well, we had to play. It's kind of like the teacher who's too student friendly. Now we got to get a disciplinarian teacher. Well, that was too disciplined. Now we got to get a cool teacher. I find myself caught in the loop too, because part of me is like, okay, so I mean, you could basically sell me anything. You could sell me, hey, you got to go get the young, sharp mind, the young guy who's like on the cutting edge of scheme, and he's going to scheme all these guys open. I'm like, yeah, absolutely, give me that. And they've had that and it didn't work too. And then it's like, you could sell me on, hey, fucking Belichick, you got to go get some football culture here. That's the guy who's going to reshape the culture. And I find myself going, look, no matter what, I do not want to draft a running back in the first round, because I don't want to use the resource on that, because you're not going to re-sign him. And so you should never re-sign. You shouldn't give a running back a second contract pretty much ever. And now I want to draft a running back with the first round pick, that kid out of Frisco.